Have you ever found yourself chasing a fleeting smile, a brief moment of approval that felt more vital than air itself? This isn't just a crush, it's a psychological trap. It's the moment your brain, starved for connection, misinterprets validation as genuine worth. You see a woman who seems to hold the key to your happiness, and suddenly, your entire identity becomes a plea for her notice. This isn't a game of love. It's a zero-sum game of self-worth, where her approval is the prize and your purpose is the sacrifice. This psychological hunger is deeply rooted. From a young age, we're taught to seek external validation from parents, teachers, and peers. But as men, this hunger becomes a desperate void that we believe only a woman's attention can fill. We see her laugh at our jokes, message us first, or simply acknowledge our existence, and our brains release a flood of dopamine. We feel seen, valued, and for the first time in a long time, not alone. This is the addiction of validation. It's not love. It's an evolutionary instinct twisted by a modern world of loneliness, making us believe that our deepest needs can be met by someone else's fleeting approval. This is the illusion we mistake for connection, the mirage that leads us into a psychological labyrinth from which we often struggle to escape. The will of a man, a psychological journey beyond illusion. The path of a man is often a labyrinth, a psychological maze where the greatest threat isn't a monster, but a mirage. We spend a lifetime chasing a laugh, a smile, a fleeting glance, believing it holds the key to our worth. But as the philosopher Schopenhauer suggested, that smile isn't an offer of love. It's the first thread of a web. Not a web woven by a victim, but by a predator of validation. This isn't about hate. It's about a deep, often uncomfortable, psychological observation. From an evolutionary psychology perspective, women don't truly seek love in the romantic sense. They crave devotion, an unconditional surrender, a testament to their power. Because historically, this signaled a male partner's willingness to commit resources and protection for offspring. They want a man's unquestioning adoration, his attention, his validation. And in this transaction, a man isn't giving love. He's losing himself. He trades his purpose, his dignity, his very masculinity, for the fleeting feeling of being chosen. This chosen one status has become the modern man's deepest hunger. It's an empty pursuit. Schopenhauer believed that a man is, by nature, a seeker of truth, purpose, and depth. He's a metaphysical being. A woman, on the other hand, is the embodiment of the will to life, focused on securing resources, safety, and physical existence. This fundamental difference creates the psychological friction we see every day. The man searches for a higher truth in a woman's eyes, while she is simply assessing his ability to satisfy her hunger for validation. The hunger for validation, a behavioral perspective. When a man achieves success or power, he often believes the attention he receives is love. He thinks, finally, I've earned it. But this is not love, it's a hunger game. From a behavioral psychology standpoint, women are drawn to the man who doesn't ask for validation. He gives it, simply by existing as a powerful, self-possessed individual. This reinforces their behavior of seeking powerful mates. However, the moment a man starts begging for validation, I miss you, please stay, don't leave me, the dynamics of the relationship shift. He is no longer the strong, independent figure. He has become needy, a supplicant. His masculinity, once the source of his power, has crumbled. Schopenhauer's philosophy points to a brutal truth. A man's real enemy is not the woman he loves, but his own desperate neediness. His downfall is his illusion that a woman will love him unconditionally. Women are not built for unconditional love. They practice situational love, based on a biological drive for hypergamy, the need to partner with a man who can provide more than she can. They are drawn to the man who is complete in himself, the one who doesn't require her approval. The path of a king versus the path of a slave. Cognitive dissonance. So what happens when a man abandons his masculine purpose and kneels in the face of a woman's desire for validation? His eyes become empty. His decisions weaken. His purpose shifts from a quest for meaning to a chase for fleeting pleasure. This is the beginning of his ruin. Schopenhauer called women the greatest distractors from the path of wisdom. A man who gets entangled in a woman's need for validation loses his sight, his purpose, his very soul. The approval he receives one day can be used as a weapon against him the next. This creates a state of cognitive dissonance. The man's actions, sacrificing purpose for validation, contradict his core identity, a man of purpose. He tries to resolve this by convincing himself that his actions are for love, but the internal conflict erodes his self-esteem. Today, men confuse this desperate pursuit with love, and women have weaponized the confusion. Until a man understands that his soul, his purpose, and his masculine power don't depend on validation, he will always be on his knees. If you are a man searching for meaning in a woman's eyes, ask yourself, am I throwing away my masculinity just to be liked? Is my life so cheap that it can be defined by someone else's approval? Schopenhauer said, a man can be himself only as long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom. A man trapped in this psychological illusion becomes a slave. The one who rejects it becomes a king. This isn't just a warning. It's a call to arms for every man who has lost himself in the pursuit of a woman's smile. The illusion of validation was not his strength, but his tomb. Breaking the cycle of addiction, the dopamine loop. Have you ever wondered why the woman who attracts you the most is often the one who hurts you the most? It's not a flaw in you. It's a flaw in your approach. You sought something from her that can only be lost. You turned her into a goddess and then knelt at her feet, allowing her to crush your dignity. This happens because women are hungry for devotion, not for love. They crave your attention, your desperation, your need. They want their mere presence to change a man's world. And in his naivety, he believes this is a good thing. It is not. It is destruction. A man chasing a woman's seductive smile isn't just seeking a physical connection. He's chasing a high of validation. Validation is a false nectar. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. The modern world, with its social media and instant gratification, has turned this craving into a full-blown addiction. From a neuropsychological standpoint, women's value is now measured by the attention of men, likes, DMs, followers, which triggers a dopamine loop. This continuous loop reinforces the behavior, making them perpetually hungry for more. And men, in turn, believe they are special to one woman when they are merely another validation provider in a long queue. The craving to be desired, to be validated, is the poison that keeps a man from becoming truly masculine. A man can go to the gym, make money, and improve himself, but if it's all for the approval of a woman, he is still a slave. True masculinity isn't about becoming a better version of a slave. It's about rising above the need for approval. It's about a man seeking respect in his own eyes, not hers. It's about turning from the fleeting illusion of desire and embracing the path of purpose. The path to true masculine awakening, the hero's journey. The true masculine awakening isn't just about self-improvement. It's about detachment. You can't detach from a woman until you detach from your need for her validation. As long as your mind is consumed with when she was last online or whether she misses you, you are an emotional prisoner. You are not a man. You are a character in her fantasy. Schopenhauer would say today's man is not enslaved by chains, but by heart emojis and scene notifications. This journey is reminiscent of Carl Jung's archetype of the hero's journey. A man must embark on a quest to face his own internal demons, his neediness and fear of loneliness, before he can become whole. He needs silence, solitude, and a strength that stands tall without validation. The woman you chase is unavailable to other men, emotionally distant and challenging, but completely vulnerable to the man who doesn't need her approval. Why? Because the man who doesn't ask for validation is the only one who truly gets into her head. He challenges her power. He makes her uncomfortable. So choose now. Will you remain an option for every woman, or will you become the only choice for yourself? Will you be a creature of validation, or a master of your own purpose? The man who stands in silence is real. The man who breathes in solitude is powerful. The man who rises above the illusion is truly a man. Because, as Schopenhauer said, the true man doesn't ask for purpose. He creates his own. And the world is drawn to him not because he needs anyone, but because he needs no one at all.